So hope I will justify and I'll follow the Guru Parampara. Okay, so let us start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Caitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchani Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam. Jayo Jayo Shri Caitanya Jayo Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrind. Jayo Jayo Shri Caitanya Jayo Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jayo Jayo Shri Caitanya Jayo Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So Hare Krishna Prabhujis and Matajis. So today I will try to summarize some of the pastimes. So especially in 17th chapter, which is entitled as the Lord Pastimes in Youth. Okay, so in this actually from verse number 60, so till verse number 50, last week Ramananda Prabhu has covered the famous pastime about Gopala Chapala. So we all are well aware of that particular pastime. So some more pastimes which Lord performed in his youth. So that will be starting from verse number 60. So let me start from verse number 60. आराय का विप्राइला कीर्तना देखीते द्वारे का पटना पाइला भीतरे याइते. Another Brahmana came to see the Kirtana performance, but the door was closed and he could not enter. I'll just read in relation to this. So then we'll speak little more about that. फिरे गेला विप्रा घरे माने दुखा पाना आराधना प्रभु के कहे गंगाया लगा पाना. He returned home with an unhappy mind, but on the next day when he met Lord Chaitanya on the bank of the Ganges, he spoke to him. So this is a pastime in relation to Mahaprabhu. So we all know that Mahaprabhu every day in the evening he goes to Srivas Angan and he performs kirtan, so ecstatic kirtan. And in this ecstatic kirtan, not everyone is present, only very intimate devotees of the Lord are present. Why everyone is not eligible to enter to enjoy this particular pastime just as this Brahmana? Because this Brahmana is very inquisitive to enter that particular to see the Kirtana performance, but he was not allowed to enter. So actually it is mentioned that only those who are pure bhaktas, because some may outwardly appear as pure bhaktas, but inwardly they may have material tinge. So that type of people will not be allowed. So the same thing, even this Brahmana was also not allowed to enter into the Kirtana which was performed by the Lord. So it is said that why only intimate devotees are allowed to enter into this particular pastime. So it is mentioned that because Mahaprabhu, because of the wonderful relationship with the devotees, with the intimate devotees, so Mahaprabhu sometimes he may show his ecstatic symptoms of, as because we know in the bhava of Radharani Mahaprabhu came. So people, they may not understand in a proper way. So that is the reason only when intimate devotees were allowed to enter into this particular kirtan. So if you remember, even actually Srivas Thakur's mother-in-law, she was also very inquisitive to see what happens in this particular kirtan pastime which takes place. Actually, we all know that Mahaprabhu stays in 4 places eternally. So first thing is wherever Nityananda Prabhu dances. The second place is Sachimata offering. Okay, the third place is Raghava Pandita devotional service, and the fourth place is Srivasangan. So Mahaprabhu resides eternally in these places. So Srivas Thakur's mother-in-law, so what she did one day, because in the evening time when they are about to start the kirtan, so she hid herself in such a place that she cannot be seen by everyone, but she can see the kirtan which is performed. Okay, so Mahaprabhu, as usual, he started performing the kirtan. So when Mahaprabhu was performing the kirtan, so in between he stopped and he said that I'm not finding such ecstatic moment. I mean, the feelings were not so ecstatic because someone is stopping my feeling. So then they searched everywhere, but they could not find anyone. But Mahaprabhu, so then again he started to do his kirtan. But still again Mahaprabhu said, no, I'm not able to continue my kirtan. I'm not able to concentrate in a proper way. Then again they intensely searched each and every part of the house. So in one place, so Srivas Thakur found his mother-in-law who she was hiding. So then they said, because you're not a great devotee, so you're not supposed to enter into this particular kirtana which is performed. So this is what, so if you are an eligible person only, you will be allowed, otherwise you are not allowed to enter into the kirtan pastime which is performed by the Lord. So this Brahmana also got very angry and he returned home. So the next day when he met Mahaprabhu at the Ganges, so he spoke to Mahaprabhu as follows in verse number 62. Sapiba tomare muni panachi mono dukha paite chindiya sape prachanda durmukha. That Brahmana was expert in talking harshly and cursing others. Thus he broke his sacred thread and declared, I shall now curse you, for your behavior has greatly aggrieved me. So see, by this we can understand what is a behavior. So if at all, if a person is a great devotee, that will come to know in the later pastime, even though Lord doesn't allow you, so you should be very happy inwardly that someday or the other Lord will give me this opportunity, because Lord as Paramatma, he resides in our heart and he understands the core intention of our heart. But here this Brahmana, so he was not a qualified means not a pure Vaishnava, because he has a habit of talking harshly and cursing others. So because of this attitude, he was not allowed to enter into this particular kirtana performance what was done. So what did he do? He cursed the Lord. He cursed the Lord, saying that I shall now curse you, for your behavior has greatly agreed, because you didn't allow me, so that's the reason I'm cursing you. So what is the curse which the Brahmana is giving to the Lord? We'll come to the next verse. Samsara sukha tomara ha ukha vinasha sapasuni prabhura chitte haila ullasa. The Brahmana cursed the Lord, you shall be bereft of all material happiness. When the Lord heard this, he felt great jubilation within himself. Let me read the next verse also. Prabhura sapavarta ye suna shraddhavan Brahma sapa haite tara haya paritrana. So this is the Falashruti. So it is mentioned that any faithful person who hears of this Brahmana cursing Lord Chaitanya is delivered from all Brahmanical curses. So Brahmana, he cursed Mahaprabhu that you will be bereft, so you won't enjoy anything. So when general people, Mahaprabhu is Lord himself, so we cannot say anything about the Lord. But in general, normal people, so they will be worried. So why such a curse has been, why I got such a curse? But great devotees, they do not matter about that. Even Lord also. So if we take the example of even Parikshit Maharaj, when he was cursed by Shringi, okay, that you all know that very famous pastime. So Parikshit Maharaj, after he was cursed in such a way, he was not at all in a morose mood. He was very happy that what should I do so that I can attain love of Godhead. Okay, so in that way, he utilized his 7 days of his life so that he can go back to Godhead. So in this way, devotees don't bother even though they were cursed. Okay, but people who are not still on that particular platform, they feel bad that I have been cursed by so and so person. So that's what it is saying. Falashruti, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami is saying that if we hear faithfully, so we should understand the core meaning of this particular pastime, then he will be delivered from all Brahmanical curses. So we all know that even when we take Pradakshina of Tulsi Maharani also, even if we do any Brahma Hatya, so we will be delivered. So if we hear this pastime also faithfully is what? That is what Prabhupada explains in the purport. It's a very small purport, I'll just read it. One should know with firm conviction that the Lord, being transcendental, is never subject to any curse or benediction. Only ordinary living entities are subjected to curses and the punishment of Yamaraja. As the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is beyond such punishments and benedictions. When one understands this fact with faith and love, he personally becomes free from all curses uttered by the Brahmanas or anyone else. This incident is not mentioned in Chaitanya Bhagavat. So generally we can see, as I heard that in Chaitanya Bhagavat, this Adilila is explained elaborately, but this particular incident is not mentioned in Chaitanya Bhagavat, only it is mentioned in Chaitanya Caritamrta. So here it is saying, we know that Lord is not subject to anything. He is, what do you say? I forgot that word. So Lord, even though he comes to this material world, he is not affected by any of that. So because he is always transcendental. That's what, as a Supreme Lord, is beyond such punishment. So no one can, if anyone curse also, so that is not going to happen for the Lord. Only for people like us, it may affect. So if we understand it, I mean, not outwardly, but if you understand the core meaning, then you will be free from all the curses of the Brahmana. So that's what this particular pastime says. And actually, Achyuta. So Lord is called as Achyuta. I remember the word. Achyuta means he is infallible. I mean, even we, when we come to this material world, because of the modes of nature, we are Achyuta. Means we are sometimes entangled by the modes. But Lord, no, he's always Achyuta. He is always infallible. In any situation, Lord always remains in the transcendental place. So this is a particular pastime about how Brahmana cursed Mahaprabhu, and what is the lesson what we have to learn is that Lord is never affected by any curses or anything else. So coming to the next particular pastime, very beautiful pastime. So verse number 65. Mukunda dattera kaila danda parashada kandila tahara chittera sabha avasada. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu blessed Mukunda Datta with punishment, and in that way vanquished all his mental depression. So here, who is Mukunda Datta? So actually it is mentioned in Gaura Ganodesh Deepika that Mukunda Datta and Vasudeva Datta, so they are two brothers who were Madhukanta and Madhuvrata. So in Krishna pastimes, okay, they are the singers in Braja, and they came here also as the singers. So in this Chaitanya Mahalila also. So they are the classmates of Mahaprabhu. Classmates in the sense when they were very young, Nimai Pandit. So when they used to go to the school of Ganga Dasa, so even Mukunda Datta was also present at that time. And whatever pastime Lord performed, so the starting was done by Mukunda Datta, so that he used to hear, I mean, he used to recite the songs. So accordingly, Mahaprabhu used to enact. So in that way, they had a good relation. Mahaprabhu had a good relation. And even Mahaprabhu said that Vasudeva Datta, even though it is not mentioned here, but I still feel like mentioning about Vasudeva Datta. So it was mentioned that I am Vasudeva Datta's man, because Vasudeva Datta is such a great devotee. Mahaprabhu says that if you hear about the pastimes of Vasudeva Datta, so they can be delivered by the Lord, because he is a pure devotee of the Lord. And even Mahaprabhu says that if Vasudeva Datta, whatever Vasudeva Datta says, I am ready to do that. So that kind of intimate relation Mahaprabhu has with Vasudeva Datta also. So coming here, so why Mukunda Datta was not allowed to enter into Mahaprakash Leela, which takes place in Shiva's Angan? So it is mentioned that even same thing Prabhupada also mentions in the purport, because Mukunda Mahaprabhu used to call him as as Khada Jatiya Beta. So why is he called as Khada Jatiya Beta? So it gives a meaning saying that who attends all types of functions. So he doesn't stick on to only one particular sect, but he attends in every or the other lectures or wherever gatherings are going on. So that is the reason Mahaprabhu used to call him by then. That means he used to attend such place congregation which are held by the non-devotees, so they are not done by the devotees of the Lord. And who is Mukunda Datta? Mukunda Datta is a disciple of, sorry, he was a classmate, so that's what I said. And because of Mukunda Datta inspiration only, Gadadhara Pandit also became a disciple of Pundarik Vidyanidhi. So we all know that that is mentioned in Chaitanya Bhagavat, actually in Adilila. So it is not mentioned in vivid in Chaitanya Charitamrta, according to my knowledge. Okay. So, but in this Mahaprakash Leela, so generally every day after Mahaprakash Leela, Mahaprabhu used to bless all the devotees who are present over there. But Mukunda Datta stood outside the door. So the devotees informed that Mukunda Datta is waiting, even though the Lord knows. So, but Lord said that I shall not soon be pleased, because Mukunda Datta is explaining about devotional service. He is in contact with the devotees, and when he goes to the Mayavadis, that's what Prabhupada says in the purport. And he is talking from a book called as Yoga Vasishta Ramayana, so which is full of Mayavadi philosophy. And we all are aware that Mahaprabhu doesn't encourage Mayavada philosophy. Mahaprabhu says, Mayavadi Bhashira Sunila Hoila Sarvanasha. So we are not supposed to encourage here Mayavada philosophy. So that's what Mahaprabhu didn't want to show any mercy to Mukunda Datta. So hearing this in general, so normal people, so we feel offended that why Lord is not giving us, his, what do you say, glimpse. But here Mukunda Datta is he was standing outside and exceedingly glad that someday or the other Lord would be pleased, because Lord said after millions of birth only I will give Mukunda Datta my, what do you say, glimpse, so that he can have darshan of me. Till that time he cannot have darshan. So he was very happy. So, but when Lord understood, because we know Lord as Paramatma, he can understand our inner core. So he gave association. Mukunda Datta gave up the association of Mayavadis. So then Lord was very pleased, and he at once called Mukunda Datta. So thus he delivered him from the association of Mayavadis and gave him the association of pure devotees. So this is what, say, generally, even recently in Bhagavatam class also, once we were discussing. So generally, this comes in context to Bhagavatam 1st canto, 6th chapter, where Narada Muni will get a glimpse of Lord's form. After that, he won't get again. So Narada Muni will be again meditating so that he can get the form of the Lord. So then Narada Muni would hear the Lord speaking, saying that, because of I was so merciful on you, so I desired to give you a glimpse of my form. So if in order to attain this, so you should free from sinful reactions. But Narada Muni is not a sinful person, but in general for people, for us, so unless and until we are freed from our sinful reactions, we cannot get the darshan of the Lord. So till we get the darshan of the Lord, we should not stop our devotional service. We should try to continue, because our endeavor is also very important. So based upon our endeavor, Lord will be merciful. The same thing here, Mukunda Datta, he was still continuing. He's very happy that at least in some of the lifetime, Lord will be merciful on us. And he was very happy that I will continue so that I can please the Lord. So knowing the inner core, so Mahaprabhu blessed him so that he can have pure association of pure devotees. And very important thing, when Mahaprabhu went to take sannyas, okay, only very intimate devotees went along with him. So out of them, even Mukunda Datta was also present in Khatwa when Mahaprabhu was taking sannyas from Keshav Bharati. So this is importance. That only thing is that we should be always very patient and wait for the mercy of the Lord. Other than that, because Lord says that I will give everything, but bhakti, even though they are great devotees, but they waited very patiently so that they can get the blessings of the Lord. Coming to the next verse, Acharya Gosani Re Prabhu आचार्य गोसानी रे प्रभु करे गुरु भक्ति ताहाते आचार्य बड़ा हया दुख मते. Lord Chaitanya respect Advaita Acharya as a spiritual master, but Advaita Acharya Prabhu was greatly aggrieved by such behavior. I'll read the next verse also. Okay. भांगी करे ज्ञान मार्ग करेला व्याख्याना क्रोधावेशे प्रभु तारे कैल्या अवज्ञाना. Thus he whimsically began to explain the path of philosophical speculation, and the Lord in his anger seemingly disrespected him. Okay, I'll read the next verse also because these three verses are related. ताबे आचार्य गोसानीरा आनंद हैला लज्जित हैरा प्रभु प्रसाद करिला. At that time, Advaita Acharya was greatly pleased. The Lord understood this and he was somewhat ashamed, but he offered Advaita Acharya his benediction. So we all know this very famous pastime, that how Advaita Acharya desire was fulfilled. Actually, we all know that Advaita Acharya is the god brother of Ishwarapuri. So Mahaprabhu also gave him the same position because he is my guru's god brother. So he also gave the position of a guru. So, and even though there was an age difference of 52 years, that is the age difference between Mahaprabhu and Advaita Acharya. So Mahaprabhu always wanted to give Advaita Acharya the position of guru, but Advaita Acharya was oppositely. He was always thinking that I should be the servant of the Lord, and he doesn't want that honor. But Mahaprabhu always used to wash his legs, and he used to take the legs of Advaita Acharya and put his head on his head. In that way, he used to give him the honor. So Advaita Acharya tried different ways so that he can get that servantal honor, not the guru honor. So this is one of the famous pastime which took place. Actually, prior to this particular pastime, so where Advaita Acharya was talking about the Mayavada philosophy. So prior to this also, Advaita Acharya tried to take the dust of lotus feet of the Lord. So once what happened, it seems, so Advaita Acharya used to get respect in such a way that he couldn't stop because Lord was so powerful, he couldn't say anything to the Lord. But once what happened during the Kirtan, so one day during the Kirtan, so Mahaprabhu in his ecstasy, so he fell unconscious. So thinking that this is the particular time, so what did Advaita Acharya do? Advaita Acharya took the lotus dust from the lotus feet of the Lord and he tried to apply all over his body. So after this happened, when Mahaprabhu came to his external consciousness, again he started doing kirtan. So then Mahaprabhu said that no, something offense has happened. Someone touched my feet, so I'm not getting that ecstasy. Then no one, because those who were present there were also the associates of Advaita Acharya, so they were little hesitating to say that who has done. Then Advaita Acharya only spoke to the Lord, giving a very great analogy, saying that a thief, whenever he wants to rob something in any house, he wants the owner to be asleep, not awake. So if he's awake, so he cannot rob anything. So whenever they sleep, then only he can rob. So same thing, Advaita Acharya said that because in the transcendental ecstasy you fell unconscious, so I took that particular chance and I tried to take dust from your lotus feet, because you are not giving me a chance. So that's what you are always honoring me. I don't want that honor of guru. I always want to be a servant of the servant. So this is my inner feeling. So that's what it is said. Even then Advaita Acharya, then Mahaprabhu said that Mahaprabhu got little angry on Advaita Acharya. Then what did Mahaprabhu do? Mahaprabhu swiftly left that particular place and he went to Ganges so that he can have a dip in the Ganges. So when he was running toward the Ganges, so it was mentioned, I heard this from Radhana Swami Maharaj lecture. So all Nityananda Prabhu, Haridas Thakur, they thought that never Mahaprabhu ran in this way. So that swiftly he was running towards the Ganges and he dipped into the water. So when he means Mahaprabhu want to give out his life, then Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur dragged Mahaprabhu out of the water, and then Mahaprabhu said that a person who has a pure love towards Krishna doesn't want to stay in this material world. Because I don't have pure love of Krishna, so I am still in this material world. So in that way, Mahaprabhu was so concerned. Then he told Nityananda Prabhu that I don't want to see Advaita Acharya, because he was angry because he offended him. So then he told to Nityananda Prabhu also, I will go and hid myself in Nandana Acharya's house. You are not supposed to tell him, because Nityananda Prabhu knows about Mahaprabhu. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went and hid himself in Nandana Acharya's house. So the next day, all the devotees, because they saw what happened the previous night, so they were thinking, what happened to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Did he leave this material world? What happened? Even though Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur knew where is Mahaprabhu, still, because they took Mahaprabhu took a promise that you are not supposed to stay. Then when Mahaprabhu went to stay in Nandanacharya's house, so Mahaprabhu told that I'll be hiding in your house. So Nandanacharya is also a great devotee. He said that you are residing in everyone's heart. Okay, you know the inner core. So even though you are hiding here, okay, I'll be serving you. So he was very happy to serve the Lord. And the next day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told to Nityananda Prabhu that call only Srivas Thakur, don't call anyone else. So then Mahaprabhu, Srivas Thakur came, and they had a good association. In the meantime, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Srivas Thakur, what about Advaita Acharya? So how is, because of the work which is done by Advaita Acharya, Mahaprabhu want to show him this. So Srivas Thakur said, you know about Advaita Acharya, he's fasting from yesterday, he's not having a good sleep, he's always thinking about you. So then Mahaprabhu, he again came in front of Advaita Acharya and he told him that, okay, because I always wanted to give respect as a guru, but in return you are you are giving the position, you are taking my position, that you are making me the Lord and you are becoming the servant. So this I don't want. So after saying this, Mahaprabhu, once again, actually Advaita Acharya wanted to show everyone that what kind of service attitude he is having, servitor attitude he has towards the Lord. So from Navadvip, again Advaita Acharya went back to Shantipur. We all know that actually Advaita Acharya used to recite verses from Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, and he used to elevate the devotee. That's what he used to do in Shantipur. So now what did Advaita Acharya do? Advaita Acharya want to get more mercy of the Lord in a servantal mode. Okay, so then he started teaching about the Mayavada philosophy. So the book, that's what it is mentioned in the purport of verse number 68. Okay, so Advaita Acharya, he was teaching about this yoga, about the Mayavada philosophy. We all know that Mahaprabhu doesn't like. So it is mentioned that Advaita Acharya, even before also, he used to teach from this Yoga Vasishta, but he used to teach in such a way that it is concerned with the devotional part, not with the philosophical part. But now he has done the reverse. So he's teaching the impersonal philosophy. And one more thing is that Advaita Acharya didn't teach to the devotees. He started teaching for the new people, because devotees, they already know the essence, so he cannot change their mind. So he started teaching new people, and many people started liking this particular philosophy, and they came to hear these teachings of Advaita Acharya. And what did Advaita Acharya say? Advaita Acharya said that empirical philosophy is the essence and devotional service is dependent upon empirical philosophy. Generally, we say that bhakti is the topmost and empirical philosophy is in connection, because if we do bhakti, so automatically jnana about the Lord also we can know. But they just write the opposite. So when he was doing this, Haridas Thakur, he was witnessing that part, and Haridas Thakur was innerly understanding. He knows the inner essence, that why Advaita Acharya is doing in such a way. So this news spread to Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu came very swiftly to Shantipur. And when he saw that Advaita Acharya was speaking with all his students in this. So Mahaprabhu, great, very in a loud voice, he was asking Advaita Acharya, what do you think? Which is great? Is it philosophy, impersonal philosophy, or the devotional service to the Lord? So he said, no, philosophy is more and devotional service is substitute. Actually, Advaita Acharya gave a very nice analogical example, saying that devotional service is like the mirror and mental impersonal philosophy is just like the eyes. So what is the use of mirror if you don't have eyes to see? So devotional service is dependent on this mental speculation. So that's what Advaita Acharya said in that way. And when this was spoken in a loud voice by Advaita Acharya, Mahaprabhu got very angry. Okay, and Mahaprabhu went to the particular Vyasasan where Advaita Acharya was sitting, and he dragged him in such a way to the ground. And many people were seeing over there who was present, that is the students, even Sita Thakurani was present, Haridas Thakur was present, Nityanand Prabhu was present. So everyone was just seeing, and Sita Thakurani, she was very concerned about her husband, and she said that, please don't drag my husband like that, because he is, I think, 70 plus. There is the age difference, because 52 years age gap between both, and he is a very old person. Don't do like that, because he was Mahaprabhu was catching the hair of Advaita Acharya, and he was dragging him. So, but on the other side, Advaita Acharya was feeling very happy because his desire was going to get fulfilled. So this is what happened. So then, actually, Mahaprabhu was saying to Advaita Acharya that I was sleeping in the milk ocean, and because you called me, I came into this material world. So we know that one of the external reasons that why Mahaprabhu advented in this material world is on the plea of Advaita Acharya. Okay, and what are you doing right now here? So Advaita Acharya, while hearing these words, he felt so blissful that, in that way, because I am getting chastised by the Lord. And even Mahaprabhu said that I'm not, Advaita Acharya blissful. He's saying that I am your servant. Okay, I never think that I am your guru. I'm always your servant, and I like to be punished. In that way, I accept all the punishments, whatever you give. So in that way, Advaita Acharya pleaded to the Lord. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even though initially he was embarrassed, but because Mahaprabhu, he knows the intense desire of Advaita Acharya. So what is the message through this particular pastime? So that's what I understood. So it is saying that anyone wants to approach the Lord must approach by serving his devotees. So unless and until we serve the devotees, we cannot get the lotus feet of the Lord. And even Mahaprabhu says that if anyone serves Advaita Acharya, will be delivered. But anyone offends will not be delivered. So that's what even we'll come to see this related to this maybe by the next speaker. I don't know whether I'll do it or not. So this is what. And even one more important message Mahaprabhu gives is that if anyone chants the name of the Lord and offends a Vaishnava, the Lord's name will destroy them. Because we all know that there is no difference between Lord and Lord's name. So in the Sikshashtakam second verse, it is said, Nam Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarv Sakti. So there is no difference between Lord and Lord's name. So all are potent. So if we chant, but at the same time do Vaishnava Aparadh, it is considered as a great offense. And what is the Falashruti of hearing this particular pastime of Advaita Acharya is that do not criticize others, chant the holy name, and Mahaprabhu says, I will deliver you. But if you chant and at the same time offend, you will not be delivered. Okay, so that is the main core message which Mahaprabhu gives in this particular verse. Okay, so little more, let me see what Prabhupada gives in this. Okay, the same thing Prabhupada, actually I read from Prabhupada's purport only. So even Prabhupada writes the same thing here, that Mahaprabhu used to treat me honorably for long time, but now he's treating me neglectfully. This is my reward. So I want in that way. Even if we see in one of the pastime of Kamalakanta. So Kamalakanta was a secretary of Advaita Acharya, and he writes a letter to Pratap Rudra that my guru is obliged to pay 300 rupees for you. So there is a very famous pastime. Okay, actually, when Kamalakanta will be, when Mahaprabhu will be angry on Kamalakanta, Kamalakanta couldn't understand. But Advaita Acharya will feel very happy, because only for whom we have love, we show anger. But for whom we don't have love, we don't show that much of anger. So generally, see, I remember one very example given by Nitya Sevani Mataji. So if anyone comes to our house, if that child, okay, does any mischief work or he breaks something, we will say that it is okay. We don't show our anger. But if the same situation is done by our kids, we start, showing our anger on them, saying that this is not the correct way. Why did you do like this? So this is what only with our intimate people we show anger also, because out of affection. So that is what we can understand from this particular pastime of Advaita Acharya. So we should not offend others and criticize, which is very dangerous for the position of a devotee. Okay, next, coming to one more particular pastime, as I mentioned previously, from verse number 60 to verse number 120. So all are beautiful pastimes which are enacted by Lord Mahaprabhu. So one more great devotee of the Lord, that is about Murari Gupta. Murari Gupta mukhe suni Rama guna grama, lalate likhila tandra Ramadasa nama. So Murari Gupta was a great devotee of Lord Ramachandra. When Lord Caitanya heard Lord Ramachandra's glories from his mouth, he immediately wrote on his forehead, Ramadasa, the eternal servant of the Lord. Actually related to Mahaprabhu, Murari Gupta, in verse number 77 also, Mahaprabhu, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami will be speaking about Murari Gupta. So related to Murari Gupta. So we all know that who is Murari Gupta. So generally I used to hear from our Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, when he does the compilation of Chaitanya Charitamrta, so he always mentions Murari Gupta Karcha, the diary which was, where Murari Gupta has noted all the childhood pastimes of Mahaprabhu, and the later pastimes were written by, Swarupa Damodar Goswami. So Murari Gupta was not of in the same class where Nimai Pandit used to study. He was 1 year senior to Mahaprabhu. But Murari Gupta was always wanted to associate with Mahaprabhu. And who is Murari Gupta? So Murari Gupta is a disciple of Chandrasekhara. Okay, and he actually, Mahaprabhu always wanted to have a debate in his childhood pastimes, want to debate with Mahaprabhu. And in debate, Murari Gupta would lose because he always want to be a servant. And we all know that who is Murari Gupta? He is none other than Hanuman, who came as Murari Gupta in this Chaitanya pastime. And even when Mahaprabhu used to perform this Mahaprakash Leela, okay, Murari Gupta was also there. And every year, Murari Gupta, he used to come to meet Mahaprabhu, even to Puri also. In that way, he always wanted association of Mahaprabhu, but still he had a desire of worshipping Lord Rama. So that is what his core intention was. Okay. So once, actually, to test Murari Gupta, Mahaprabhu will ask that why you, whom you want to worship. In the sense, Lord knows, but still he says that I want to be a servant of Lord Ramachandra. Even though I know about you, but still I can't detach myself from Lord Ramachandra. In the same way, if you remember, even Sanatan Goswami's brother Vallabha, even though Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami, they worship, they know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from Krishna, but Vallabha, he used to worship Lord Rama. He said that I cannot detach being a servant. I know Mahaprabhu is Lord, but still I feel that I want to be more connected with Lord Rama. In the same way, Murari Gupta also, same thing. So in the 77th verse, we will see that Lord will bless Murari Gupta, saying that you are Hanuman in the previous life and you are the eternal servant of Lord Ramachandra. So in that way, he will bless him. Okay. So next one. Sridharera lauha patre kaila jalapana samasta bhaktira dila ishtavaradana. Once Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the house of Sridhara after Kirtan and drank water from his damaged iron pot. Then he bestowed his benediction upon all the devotees according to their desires. So it is a very small purport. I'll just read. After the mass Nagara Sankirtan in protest against the magistrate Chand Khazi, the Khazi was converted to a devotee. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned with his Sankirtana party to the house of Sridhara. Chand Kazi followed him. All the devotees rested there for some time and drank water from Sridhara's damaged iron pot. The Lord accepted the water because the pot belonged to a devotee. Chand Kazi then returned home. The place where they rested is still situated on northeastern side of Mayapur, and it is known as Kirtana Vishrama Sthana, the resting place of Kirtan party. So this is about a small description about Kolavacha Sridhar. So here they're talking about is about Kolavacha Sridhar. So what is the meaning of Kolavacha? Kolavacha means one who sells items which are prepared from the banana leaf. So that is why he's called as Kolavacha Sridhara. And who is this Kolavacha Sridhara? So Kolavacha Sridhara is a Kusuma Sava in Kirtan Krishna Leela out of 12 Gopas. So he's one of the Gopa, and he came as Sridhara in Chaitanya pastime. Actually, he was a born Brahmin. Okay, and what he used to do every day, he used to prepare these cups from this banana leaves, and he used to sell. Okay, and whatever money he used to get, some part he used to use for doing devotional service, that is for Ganges and others, and remaining part he used to keep for his livelihood. So in that way he used to lead his life. And where he used to stay is also a not wealthy place. Okay, he used to stay in a hut which is full of holes. Okay, whenever rain comes and whenever there is sun rays, everything used to dig into the room. So in that way he was not living in a good position, but still he's a great devotee of the Lord. But how can we say that he's a great devotee of the Lord? Because Mahaprabhu came to his house and he drank from that pot. Actually that pot was kept generally to wash the legs, so that who enters the house, and Mahaprabhu drank water, okay, from that pot which belonged to a great devotee. So that's what it is mentioned. And see, every day Mahaprabhu, when he was Nimai, actually he used to come with other friends and he used to bargain with Kolavacha Sridhar, saying that you are selling this for a high price. I would have purchased for a lower price in other place. So this is not fair. So in that way, Mahaprabhu liked to have an intimate relation. I mean, like that kind of pastimes he wants to enact with Kolavacha Sridhar. And Kolavacha Sridhar is also very happy. So whenever Mahaprabhu, as Nimai, he used to come to him, he was very happy. So one day Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit asked Kolavacha Sridhar that what is your desire? Okay, so then Kolavacha Sridhar says that in every janma, whenever I come, you should also come, so that we can have this intimate relation. So because Lord, even the Lord chastises or praises, so he does only with very intimate devotees whom he loves very much. In the same way, if we remember in Damodara Ashtakam also, Satyavrata Muni also says the same thing. Says that idam te mukhamboja atyanta nilai, idam te mukhamboja atyanta nilai. I forgot that, but in the last line, Raktesh Gopya. Manasya Virasta Malam Lakshalabhai. So, thank you, Prabhu. So, here Mahaprabhu says that, I mean, Satyavrata Muni says that I always want to see this particular form of the Lord, who as a Damodara. So in the same way, Kolavacha Sridhar also says that I want every Janma, whenever I come, I want you, so that we can have an intimate relation, so that he wants to enjoy. Even devotees also want to enjoy. At the same time, Lord also want to enjoy with them. So that's what. So this is about Kolavacha Sridhar, who was one of the Gopas. And one more next particular, not a pastime, so just a small thing about Haridas Thakur, it will be mentioned over here. So in the 71st verse, Haridasa Thakurera Karila Prasada Acharya Sthane Matara Kandila Aparadha. After this incident, the Lord blessed Haridas Thakur and vanquished the offense of his mother at the home of Advaita Acharya. So here in this particular pastime, I'll just read the purport. On the Mahaprakasha day, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Haridas Thakur and informed him that he was none other than incarnation of Prahlad Maharaj. When Vishwarupa took sannyasi, Sachimata thought that Advaita Acharya had persuaded him to do so. Therefore, she accused Advaita Acharya of this, which was an offense at his lotus feet. Later, Lord Chaitanya induced his mother to take the dust of Advaita Acharya's lotus feet, and thus her Vaishnava Aparadha was nullified. So here, Mahaprabhu blessed Haridas Thakur and he informed him that actually Haridas Thakur is a combined incarnation of Brahma, Prahlada, and one more devotee. I don't remember. It is mentioned in Gaura Ganodesha Deepika. So that's what Mahaprabhu blesses Haridas Thakur. And we all know that who is Haridas Thakur? He is none other than Brahma. So after the Brahma Vimohana Leela, so Brahmaji repents on whatever he has done. So in Chaitanya Leela, he comes as Haridas Thakur and he is initiated by Mahaprabhu as Namacharya, because the way he chanted the name of the Lord, so we all are aware of that particular pastime. Okay, so but coming to the next one, as an offense, so and vanquish the offense of his mother at the home of Advaita Acharya. So here Sachimata, okay, we all know that Sachimata had two sons. One is Vishwarupa and Vishwambara, that is, and so Vishwarupa from his childhood, okay, he used to go to Advaita Acharya's house and he used to learn Srimad Bhagavatam. And sometimes it is also mentioned that whenever Advaita Acharya is busy in doing devotional service, so Vishwarupa used to give classes. So he used to give classes in such a way that Advaita Acharya was very pleased. So he used to come and he used to be very happy in that way he was doing. So when Vishwarupa attained the age of marriage, okay, because of Advaita Acharya's teaching, so he wanted to renounce his life. Okay, so but their parents Jagannath Mishra and Sachimata wanted him to get married. When Vishwarupa came to know that he'll be getting married soon, he left his house. So after he left he didn't intimate anyone when he left his house. So Jagannath Mishra, he got very worried. So we all know that particular pastime. And where did Vishwarupa go? So that we know only when Mahaprabhu went to South India too, especially when he went to Pandharpur. So one of Madhavendra Puri's disciple, that is Rangapuri. So Rangapuri, he will inform that there was a Swamiji called as Shankararanya Swami. So he is the son of so and so. Then even though Mahaprabhu knows, so but still after going to that particular place only it will be revealed. So Sachimata thought that because of Advaita Acharya only our elder son left us and left this material world also. So when even what do you say, Mahaprabhu used to associate with Advaita Acharya, Sachimata got angry. So he didn't say anything outwardly, but in her inner consciousness, she used to accuse Advaita Acharya, because of you only my elder son has left us. And we all know that Mahaprabhu, being a Paramatma, he knows everything, whatever we discuss, we think in our heart. And Mahaprabhu said that you have done a Vaishnava Aparadha. So then Sachimata understood. Then Mahaprabhu revealed, saying that this is what you have thought about Advaita Acharya. Then Sachimata said, then how can I get relieved from this, Aparadha, whatever I have done? Then Mahaprabhu, once actually he performs Mahaprakash Leela, and then Advaita Acharya also becomes transcendental ecstatic, and he falls unconscious. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu indicates his mother that this is the right time, go and take blessings of Advaita Acharya. So then Sachimata understands the intention of Mahaprabhu and she takes blessings of Advaita Acharya. And after that, even Advaita Acharya will come to know. So from this particular pastime, what can we understand is that no one can be relieved from Vaishnava Aparadha. And the thing is that even though you may be a mother or a relative to the Lord, but still you should take the shelter of the devotees, because we know there are three types of aparadhas. One is Nama Aparadha, and then Seva Aparadha, and Vaishnava Aparadha. So all are considered as dangerous if you do go in a wrong way, but Vaishnava Aparadha is considered as more, because if we do Vaishnava Aparadha, then all our devotional service, so won't be in a proper way. So we should always be careful that never offend any Vaishnavas. So we should always follow the footsteps of Vaishnavas and try to go in the right path. So that's what we can understand from this particular pastimes of all this. Okay, even Murari Gupta and even Advaita Acharya and even about Sachi Mata. So anyone may be. So we should always not offend Vaishnavas, do chanting properly so that we can be delivered from this material world. Hare Krishna, Prabhujis and Matajis. So I try to glorify some of the pastimes. If I had done anything, if I spoke anything wrong, so please correct me. Other than that, thank you for giving me a chance. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, over to Ramananda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandatanam. Thank you so much, Mataji. Wonderful, sweet pastimes. So some of the pastimes though we heard before, but when we hear these pastimes again and again, it's very, very nectarian and cherishing pastimes. Thank you so much. The way you explain the pastimes also is very so nice that completely involved into those pastimes as if it's happening in front of our eyes. Such a beautiful way you explained. Thank you so much, Mataji.
I remember the way you helped me, Prabhu, for doing in one of the KKC annual day, we performed this about Advaita Acharyas, Kamala Kanta, and even Sachi Mata also, because my younger daughter, she played the place of Sachi Mata. So I remembered. And even in Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita also they say, Prabhu, in 10.9, Mat Chitta Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Katayantascha Mamnicha Tushyanticha Ramanticha. So always, even though we hear many times, but still we feel like hearing, okay, let me hear more and more. So something
and
on the
every
other
time every time we hear, we find more new thing and better realizations. And
that is what I also understood, Prabhuji. Yes.
I think you covered up 71, right?
Yes, 71 I covered, Prabhuji. Yes.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna devotees, any questions?
Prabhu. Thank you so much, David. For nectarian class. It was really like just deep diving into the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You said, Mataji, like Mukunda Datta, you used to attend the programs wherever gatherings are happening. Even gatherings are not done by devotees, other non-devotees. He used to go. So this means that as a Vaishnavas, as a devotees, we should not attend other programs. And also you mentioned about the Mayavadis. So can you also elaborate on Mayavadis and when to attend, when not to attend, Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, that's what, according to my understanding, Prabhu, that Mahaprabhu always used to say that from Avaishnava Mukhodgitam Putam Hari Katamritam Shravanam Naiva Kartavyam Sarpochishtume Hari. Means if you associate with a non-devotee, if you try to hear the philosophy, it is just like a serpent licking the milk. Okay, even though it just touched, you can't use that milk again, Prabhu. In the same way, you are not supposed to associate. Actually, through this particular pastime, what I understood is Murari Gupta was traveling on both tracks. Okay, generally they say that we are not supposed to travel on two tracks, travel only on one track. So by this pastime, Lord wanted to show him that even though he is a great devotee of the Lord, but by this pastime, Lord told him that you are supposed to be in this line. And for us especially, generally people for us, that do not associate with Mayavada philosophy. That's what I can understand, Prabhu. Others or Ramanand Prabhu can add more on this. I don't know more than that, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Actually, yes, Mataji, what you said is true. These are all the pastimes for us to remind. It's not that they actually got involved into these pastimes or they were attracted to Mayavadi philosophy. Even take an example of or Mukundatta and other pastimes what Mataji explained today. So it is only for us to remind that we should not get into the association of Mayavadis. And you asked the question when to attend, when not to attend. Actually, when to attend, there is no scope only because we are not in that position. We are not in position to attend or convince them. Better to be away. So it is only for the topmost Vaishnavas who can, like sometimes we see Chaitanya Prabhu is associating with Prakashananda Saraswati and all this. So that is at a very high level of devotion, and we definitely can't imagine to be in that position. So for us, the best thing is to avoid. We have lots and lots of Vaishnava association. So for our purification, whenever we get an opportunity, better we continue to associate with Vaishnavas first, then leave transforming these Mayavadis to the senior devotees. So always we think that we are not senior enough to associate or transform them. Let us focus on transforming ourselves first, because internally we are so hardcore Mayavadis. Not we, I'm talking about me, hardcore Mayavadis who externally sometimes appear that we are a devotee and all. The transformation, self-transformation is more important. So let us focus on that.
Even I just add one more point, Prabhuji. So if you remember in Adilila, we have seen that along with Mahaprabhu, one Kala Krishna Das will be sent given as an assistant. Even sometimes once he will get associated with Bhakta Tirthas or Bhakta means who are just like Mayavadis, who just want to enjoy. So Mahaprabhu tries to deliver him. I mean, he will drag him from that association so that he will have a good association. After that, Mahaprabhu tells him that I don't want to see your face anymore in future. Then Nityanand Prabhu blesses him, saying that you go to Navadvip and stay with Sacipremi and you take care of her. In that way, devotees will always try to help you to come out of that particular Maya, Prabhu. That's what I can say.
Sudarshan Prabhu, you want to add something? You have
Ji Prabhu, first I'll appreciate Mataji. Mataji, your class is like a PhD theory. I'm very happy to see this nectarian class and wonderful excellent class. You explained everything. It looks like you did a PhD on the Caitanya Caritamrta. It's a very good class, Mataji. Rarely we hear. And Mataji, one thing was there, Mataji. We know the Mahaprabhu knows Advaitacharya very well. Advaitacharya knows very well. Then why Mahaprabhu got angry when he Mahaprabhu took Advaitacharya took a dust of lotus feet, and Bhavana was known by the Mahaprabhu, but running to Ganga and dipping in that one, what was one to aim to show by the Mahaprabhu? Is that he don't want to do anybody want to do anything which is not according to his wish or something? That scene when he goes to the Ganga and dip in that one, that I didn't understand the purpose of that portion of the Leela. Can you have any comment on that one?
Prabhu.
Because we know very well and running, there must be some purpose for that one. That have you analyzed or think anything about it?
No, Prabhu. I think Ramanand Prabhu can answer on that. Or any other devotees can answer. Sorry, Prabhu, I couldn't answer your question.
Prabhu, actually, as per my understanding, this is Lord is exhibiting the humility. Because all the devotees are calling him as like a Lord himself, and Lord Chaitanya Prabhu never accepts that actually he is Channavatar, so he is hiding himself from this. So he doesn't want to his devotees or devotees to treat him as a Lord, because his role was as a devotee. He want to propagate the holy name of the Lord. So at some stage, for very confidential devotees, he exhibited his real form. But in general, Lord doesn't want devotees or people to treat him as a god and So touching the lotus feet means, so he says, he feels that Adilila is such a wonderful Vaishnava. He is like my guru, my spiritual master only. So if he touches my feet, no, it is not auspicious for me also. In the sense, auspicious is not from general point of view, but no, it is not good for me, my spiritual one. That he want to show that to the people. Not that really he means that, but he want to show, because he feels that the Adilila is his spiritual master, equal to his spiritual master. So from that perspective, he was exhibiting this Leela. So this is my understanding.
Prabhu, maybe he wants to hide his or that I am not a supreme personality of Godhead. So it will may explore, or other people may follow Acharya, other Acharya. Maybe he wants to stop other people that they should not follow the Acharya and trying to do the things without his wish to take his lotus fish dust. Because lotus fish dust of the supreme personality of Godhead is not then easy to get one everyone, and everybody will not be able to handle them also. Maybe that could be the reason.
Maybe.
One of that. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
So any other questions, comments, devotees?
Prabhuji, you answered some. You answered some answer. For that answer, I have a question, Prabhuji. Can I ask, or you have time constraint?
For me, Prabhu, you're saying?
RKD Prabhu. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu,
Prabhu,
please.
you said,
Sorry, my voice audio was mute. I thought I'm playing you, but it was mute. Yeah, Prabhu,
Yeah.
please.
You said, Prabhu, like very important thing, the internal transformation. We need to focus on the internal transformation instead of going and trying to preach. But that is not the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission is Yare Dekhe Tare Kaha Krishna Upadesh. Wherever you see the people, you try to give the message of Krishna. So if okay, for few decades we are doing, but internal transformation has not happened. That doesn't mean that we should stop and going to the other programs. That's what is the question, Prabhu.
Over here, two things. Going to other preaching, Yare Dekhe Tare Krishna Upadesha, there is always rider to attach to that. That is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told. But Acharyas told that don't associate with Mayavadis. So till you, because we know that once we start associating with him, as Mataji gave example of serpent touching the milk, we become easily contaminated and become transformed to their teachings. So we get attracted and distracted to their teachings. So from that perspective, there always rider is there, because for everything there is exceptions and riders from acharyas and warnings. This is purely from the compassionate point of view. It is not from the scriptural point of view. Compassionate point of view, acharya says that if you associate, you fall down. So be careful. So the point here we need to understand is, under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, yes, we can do that. But a spiritual master says don't do that, then we are not supposed to. So that rider always need to carry. The Lord says very clearly, Yare Dekhe Tare Krishna Upadesh. But spiritual master says that be careful. That be careful comes from this one, that when we associate with Mayavadis, we'll fall down. So because even Chaitanya Prabhu says that also, that one should not associate with Mayavadis. That is prohibited, Chaitanya Prabhu says. So we need to understand the context, we need to understand the real inner meaning. The purpose is that, yes, everyone in this material world should be considered as a qualified to get this holy name of the Lord. But whether we are qualified to give to Mayavadis, we approach them, associate with them. So that is the point. So that we have to always take the guidance of spiritual master and Shiksha Guru, and then we can do it.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay.
So there is no other questions, then Mataji, can we stop the session here? So next week, I think this Prabhu, it is Shivnath Ramdas Prabhu, right? As per the roster, Shivnath Ramdas Prabhu's class next week. Prabhu is not in the class. Maybe someone from KKD can just inform him and take confirmation. I'll also post a message to Prabhu. So from verse 72 onwards, Prabhu will. Thank you, Mataji. Mataji, if you can glorify Charitamrita, then conclude.
चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय, कृष्णा कविराज गोस्वामी की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरु महाराज की जय। हरे कृष्णा। थैंक यू प्रभु जी से माता जी। हरे कृष्ण। वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव
Krishna Vranda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
And also, incidentally, yesterday I heard from Sandipan Muni Prabhu from Vrindavan that yesterday was appearance day of Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Yes, complete. Oh, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, on the day he completed. Last verse. Last verse is again Shikshashtakam.
Yes.
Shikshashtakam slokas. He completed on this day, and yesterday rather it was.
Yes.
It was a nice point. Thank you, Mataji. So thank you very much, all the devotees, for patiently attending this session.